We're back on MorningLine. Our guest this morning, Davidson County Sheriff Daron Hall. It's good to have you on, and wishing you a happy holidays.
You as well.
It's good to see you, my friend. I really appreciate you coming on, and we've got more calls for you. Let's go to Charlie, I believe, next. Charlie, good morning. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Nick. Good morning to you. Good morning, Sheriff. Happy Merry Christmas. I got two questions. First of all, if I live in Kentucky, and if I want to donate some toys to the Christmas toy drive, do I bring them to the sheriff's department there in downtown Nashville, or do I take them to Harding Place?
Wow.
And my second comment is that I've been listening to what you've been talking about the prison system and about trying to, reform and everything. I did 15 years in prison.
Wow.
I got out in 2010. Ever since then, I've been working on a farm, making money, and staying out of trouble.
Great.
And I'm 51 years old, and if I can do that, anybody can do it. I don't care how young or how old you are. Going into prison, we're literally scared of the living heebie-jeebies out of you.
Wow.
I was hoping we'd get a caller like Charlie.
Congratulations to you, by the way. That's what it's all about. As far as I'm concerned.
That's impressive. Now he's lucky. A farm. It can be hard. You're out as a felon finding a job. That's difficult to begin with. That's like a scarlet letter. That's
a tough. And let me mention too. I mean, gosh, listen to here's a guy living in Kentucky who's obviously gone through what he's gone through, and he's looking to reach out and try to help somebody.
Awesome?
I just think that's fantastic. So, here's the thing, Charlie. If you can get them to the sheriff's office, and we obviously have an office downtown, we can get the toys to Harding Place. If you're in town and able to do that, the Harding Place, 5117 Harding Place, is where the actual toy store will function out of, and so obviously that's easiest for everyone. But I promise you this: we had an elderly man last year pull us over. One of our warrant vehicles pulled over. He pulled them over and had a pickup truck and had toys in the back, and so we'll get them to where they need to be. I just want to thank you for even calling and for what you're doing, and good luck in your life. That's what we're supposed to all be about, and I appreciate you even letting us know. Some people out there, I wish there was people in prison today who could hear you because they will believe you.
Well, he said it scared the bejesus out of him, and he didn't want to go back.
And he's turned his life around. He's helping people.
And he spent 15 years.
That's fantastic.
Real quick then, since he touched on it, the need that's there is there's still a demand for more toys to come in, and how long can people do it? And again, remind folks when it starts. You said 5117?
5117 Harding is the actual location of the store.
Things get going
next really
week,
busy tomorrow.
All right,
so we do tickets tomorrow. We shop Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is kind of the store itself. So really by wee hours of tomorrow, the collection of toys, we're going to be putting them. That's probably as good as we can do, because the next 3 days we're shopping.
I don't know if you've been out there, but have you heard? I mean, do we have the bikes all out there and everything else? I mean, you're getting, compared to last year, hopefully enough to take care of everyone.
I think we're going to have. I think we're doing as well as last year. The issue is the demand, we believe, could be higher, and we believe we'll hit 6,000 this year. I think Dale Roble was telling me that 5,300 last year, kids. So it's fantastic stuff. But we'll take anything you can do. You can clearly go on lastminutetoystore.com, click on the Amazon section. That actual toy can be delivered, I believe, up until tomorrow night. So. Should be a great week. The weather looks decent. We have a lot of folks heading out that way. A lot of volunteers signed up, and I hope that we're going to make the lives of a lot of kids better here in the next few days.
Great. All right, let's go next to Fran. Fran, good morning. Hi, Fran.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I help a lot of the homeless, and every time one gets arrested, we try to make contact with them. We call the jail. Many of these homeless, we don't even have their birthdays, okay? And in order to get an ID number, it's like pulling teeth. We can never get that. We do want to go down. We want to minister to them and everything else, but there's no way we can contact them. We can't even get a letter to them. We've sent letters many times with an ID number that they said they weren't supposed to give, but they gave it to us, and they never got the mail. So what is going on? How can we contact somebody that we're trying to help who has been arrested?
Okay,
and these are minor crimes. These are like shoplifting. They're not murderers or anything. This is...
Okay, Fran, let me ask you something. Do you know their name? What I'm saying is, in that example, do you know that the person's name is Daron Hall that you're looking for, or are you just looking for the homeless guy who got arrested?
Looking for the homeless person who has gotten arrested.
So, and just help me. And I don't want to take up the whole time here. I'd love for you to give me a call. Let me give you a number. So, because I'd like to talk through this.
And you know, Rick can get it back there if you'd like. I can put it on hold, and then so you can tell it what she'll do when you call her.
Let's do that. If you don't mind, Fran, to give
on line for Rick, and Rick will get a number from Fran, so you can get in touch. So she's trying to reach out. In fact, I did a story this morning. There was a perfect example. There was a church, and I'm guessing it's a homeless person threw a cinder block through the window. Went in. He steals sponge cake and a soda. Wow. And then he sleeps in a sleeping bag on the front porch of the church. Cops arrive.
Wow.
Okay, they had to arrest him because he threw the cinder block through. I think, you know, if he had just asked the church, they would have given him food and clothing. But they had to arrest him. So he's being brought to you. This is a homeless guy. Yes, he threw a cinder block through a window. That's bad. But she might be able to help him.
Right. Well, I could go everywhere. Here in about 6 months or whatever, that individual, I'm not a mental health expert. I guarantee you there is multiple issues going on. He should not be in jail because it's not gonna improve his life, and Fran shouldn't want him in jail either. We don't want him in jail. That man needs to be in the behavioral care center. He gets stabilized in his medication. We'll get him in a better place. So
which
that's
is what
coming.
You're going to have in the new facility.
That's coming.
Which is awesome.
But I think Fran's point's a good one. I surely don't want anyone to think that you know you can't reach people. Here's what happens when a person's arrested that's homeless for public intoxication. There's just no way for an outside person to get in to see a person. The length of time that person stays in jail is usually less than 36 hours. By the time they're booked and detoxed and dressed and sleeping and eating and going to court, they're going home. So there's really no way to engage in that person's time in jail. If you're spending 36 hours, just give up on, and I say that as in outside coming in, because there's other reasons. Medically, we can't allow visitors, or we don't allow visitors to interact with the public because you could have an airborne disease and visitors are coming in, or vice versa. So we have to clear you medically. It usually takes up to 5 days to get all that done. So if a person's not in jail for more than 5 days, the outside person involving themselves while they're in jail is really just not going to happen. It's not even a suitable way of doing it. We need to protect you and protect the individual. There's a lot we're trying to get our hands around, and it's not that we don't want you to communicate with them, it's that we don't have the time. I'm talking about to stop everything, allow visits to even occur, families or clergy or anything else. Attorneys, yes, but so it's not that we're trying to prevent it. It's that the pace of a jail when you've recently been arrested is very fast, and we have a lot to do, including detox and everything. So, but Fran, I will tell you this: in the next 6 months, it's going to probably be that long or so. You'll hear for sure. We're going to open a facility that's a behavioral care center. The man that Nick's talking about that threw the brick through the window, I'm not an expert. I can diagnose him from here. He wouldn't have done that had he not been at least self-medicating on an illness that we can treat in a better way. I'm not saying it'll stop it. I'm not saying we'll change everyone's life, but they will not be incarcerated. They will not be housed and locked down and unable for you to reach. And so that's going to help us all. It'll help the person. The other thing that makes your question a challenge that I want to talk to you about when you call me is if we don't know Nick Barris's name, you're trying to get to that homeless guy. We can't connect those dots until we can get some familiarity with what's going on. So if Rick will give you my number, and I'll give that to 615-862 8166. When I get a chance, I'll give you a call back and we'll work on it.
She must find out, obviously, of the incident to even know to seek this individual out. And law enforcement is going to have some type of I'm talking about Metro Police, who probably made the arrest of the individual you're looking for. So then maybe you can get those. Those reports are public record. And you can find out. You can say, well, there was someone arrested at this church last night. You have that report. And they can at least look at the time and date. And off that, you could maybe get a name that then you could hand over to the sheriff, and that would help him find it.
Yes. And you can go on our website, even if we know the name, you can, Fran, and look it up and say, hey, his bond is this, his court date is this time, and know more about it. But it's a little harder if we're just talking about that guy who was arrested at the church. So we can work on that. Hopefully you'll give me a call and we'll take off on it.
Appreciate her call. Let's squeeze Bob in here before our next break. Bob, good morning. What's on your mind, Bob?
Oh, happy holidays. I want to thank the sheriff for the work Toys for Tots? Is he going to have the drive you home on the New Year's?
You know, that was a trade-off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And good for him remembering it. You used to do Sober Ride.
Right.
And in the age of Uber and Lyft,
Right.
Sober Ride, thankfully, is not needed as much, and so you decided to focus your energies elsewhere.
Yeah, Nick, it was that. You're right on that. The other part was Nashville changed. I mean, back when it started 30 years ago, we would go out to Murfreesboro Road to an establishment and take you home from the establishment.
Okay.
There'd be, all over town. Now, when you got 150,000 people downtown all at one event, there's no way to get in and out of there to get the person who's wanting the ride. And so we did it for, 10 or 15 years where we had tents and the volume was intense. I mean,
they go to the tent and then they would take rides because you come in there like,
But to be honest with you, and this is just the evaluation we took on it, it really became much more about out-of-town people who were coming to Nashville, and I'm not so sure that was the best use of our resources.
Yep.
It's a good service. It started as a local community
keeping a drunk off the road, whether they're out of town or not, because that still keeps the locals safe.
That's right. But the balance shifted so much where you were doing high volume of riders, and it was, for example, if you were at 2nd Avenue and called and said, hey, I need a sober ride, we could never get to you. By the time our car would get close, 50 people were diving in the back seat of the car to go. So there's a need. We surely want you and to use the ride service that's available. Taxis, there's so many options now. There used to not be. Tow, AAA does a program, and all the Uber and Lyft
Seriously, in the
folks.
old days when it started 20 years ago, was it literally like just a handful in a given night? And I'm sure it got a little busy, but do you remember that? I don't know, you probably drove some back then or whatever, and you go and there's just very few.
Right.
And the city's exploded.
It went, and it really wasn't very organized anymore. We used to say, we're looking for Nick Barris. We'd pull up a Bennigan's on Murfreesboro Road, Nick Barris, and he'd walk out, you get in the car, we'd take you to your address. It turned into, someone called from here, and it would be 50 people trying to get in the car, and you would take them to hotels, which is not a bad thing, but it started as a residential, we want to take you to your home and make sure you're done, right? It turned into going to the Vanderbilt Lowe's Plaza or Opryland Hotel. Still a good idea. We still need you to get home safely and sober, but we do not think, or I didn't think after that many years, we could accomplish what the real program was about. So we shifted
it's not like you just quit and did nothing.
Right.
You shifted.
The Last Minute Toy Store is huge and a great, we're excited about it. I think it's a great program, and it puts our staff year-round around something. We collect money and toys. Our staff have given over $35,000 in collections. We do all sorts of different events throughout the year. It's our facilities that the store operates out of, but the Last Minute Toy Store organization is fantastic. They do a lot of work, organizationally, making sure that it runs. My kids and my family, everyone I know has signed up to do it this year because it's really a great, it makes you see the spirit of Christmas.
Well, Mark Binda, who works here at the station, our programming director, very involved, he says it's changed his life.
It's great.
By going out there and seeing, and if there was anything he looks forward to at Christmas, and there's so much, for a lot of people, it's that.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people would agree with him. We'll take a break. When we come back, our final segment with the sheriff. If you're on hold, stay there, Mark and others. If you want to join us, we've got time for a few more calls from you if you'd like to talk to him. 737-7587. Back right after this.